One of the biggest potential ways for institutional money and money from other traditional finance investors to enter into Bitcoin would be through a Bitcoin ETF. If you have been around in crypto for a decent period of time, then you already probably know that there have been many applications by different entities to create Bitcoin ETFs over the last several years. And while there are still some hope for some of them, as they are not yet fully decided on currently, all others have been denied due to concerns about market manipulation and Bitcoin being used for criminal activities. Well, the SEC commissioner has actually come out with a statement about the numerous denials and her own thoughts on whether or not a Bitcoin ETF should exist. That the SEC should have approved a Bitcoin ETF a long time ago, and that she is perplexed why one has not been already. Some of you may be wondering why one has not been approved if she feels that way and she is the commissioner, and that is because she alone does not have the power to approve or deny things for the SEC. The ETF must be approved by a whole group of people. However, she also said, with each passing day, the rationale that we have used in the past for not approving seems to grow weaker, so perhaps we could see that group changing their mind in the near future. Additionally, she stated, I thought that if we had applied our standards as we have applied them to other products, we would already have approved one or more of them, when asked about why one has not been approved, that is. So this is interesting because just a few weeks ago, the SEC once again delayed their decision on approving or denying the VanEck Bitcoin ETF application that has been waiting for months. This makes it appear as if there's perhaps a small group within the SEC who for some reason is very against the approval of a Bitcoin ETF, and maybe Pierce's public comments are an attempt to get them to realize they are being unreasonable and they have to change their minds. Moving on, some of you may remember a while ago in a previous news video when I covered how decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs, were recognized legally as an entity in the United States. Well, the first DAO to go through the process of becoming legally recognized has been approved, and it is the American Crypto Fed, an organization dedicated to creating a monetary system resilient to fluctuations in value. This is a big step not only for that specific project, but for decentralized governance in general, as it unlocks many possibilities for what can be done through DAOs in the future. Next, we need to talk about whales, because whales have been accumulating, with yesterday being the biggest daily accumulation so far this year. If whales are defined as holding between 100 to 10,000 Bitcoin in a single address, then whales have added more than 100,000 Bitcoin to their holdings in the last month and a half. While having more than 100 Bitcoin is impressive, and up to 10,000 obviously being a crazy amount, the whales who have had more than 10,000 Bitcoin have been accumulating more as well, with addresses holding at least 10,000 Bitcoin adding more than 90,000 Bitcoins in less than a month. And whales are not right 100% of the time, but historically they have been a good indicator to look at to know when is a good time to accumulate and when it is a good time to take some profit. Another thing to consider with historical data is that July has typically been a profitable month, as shown here on this chart. So let's move on to some other news. Well, the Bitcoin Mining Council, formed by Michael Saylor, had another meeting recently and announced afterwards that Bitcoin mining is now 56% sustainable. This number is significant because, as some of you may remember, Elon Musk previously stated that Tesla would begin accepting Bitcoin as a payment method again when Bitcoin was 50% sustainable mined. It is likely that Musk has seen the report that the number is now 56%, as he met with the Mining Council back in May and has spoken with Saylor a few times by now. However, there has been no announcements by Tesla or Musk, so it is possible that he has either changed his mind or does not believe the report to be accurate, which is a concern that others have brought up as well regarding the Mining Council. There is also the concern that there should not be any type of central entity watching over the Bitcoin network, which is what some people fear with the Mining Council would end up as by doing what they are doing right now, and including many of the largest mining companies such as Bitfury, Galaxy Digital, Marathon, Hive, Riot, and HUT8. One more thing to mention related to mining is that the Bitcoin network has undergone the largest ever drop in difficulty, 28% in the wake of all the miners leaving China and taking a break while finding new places to set up their miners back up. So I talked about this in yesterday's video already, but just note that this was the biggest drop in the mining hash power ever. So on July the 1st, you saw the drop. It took 129 minutes to produce a block for the network, which was the longest time we've seen since 2011. However, this has not affected the security of the network and should only be a temporary event as miners are already setting their operations back up in other countries. So, Binance may be in trouble in yet another country as Singapore's Monetary Authority Service has announced that they are keeping up with the actions being taken against the exchange by other regulators and that they will follow up and review Binance's permits to provide crypto-related services in Singapore. So Singapore is known as being a very crypto-friendly country, so if any negative action is taken against Binance there, it would not be a good indication for the exchange and would likely lead to even more other countries doing the same. One of the key things the Monetary Authority Service will be looking at when making their decision on Binance is whether or not they have done well at preventing illicit capital from entering the platform, or in other words, they are preventing money laundering through the exchange. This has been something that several other countries have looked at as well and decided that Binance was not doing enough in this area, so it will be interesting to see what decision Singapore comes to. One last thing to cover is that there has been yet another large ransomware attack that is demanding $70 million to be paid in Bitcoin by the more than 20 different firms in the US that have been affected. This is worth paying attention to because during and after the last ransomware attack that demanded Bitcoin and then had that Bitcoin seized, there were concerns that the FBI had somehow hacked Bitcoin to find the ransomware hackers and that it was no longer secure. This was of course not the case, but we may end up seeing similar claims this time around if they manage to track the hackers through the Bitcoin network again or seize it when they send it to any kind of centralized service. To be clear, this attack is being performed by the same group that performed the previous Colonial Pipeline attack in May and the attack against the meat company JBS Holdings. In a post on a dark website, the hackers claim that more than 1 million machines have been affected with the ransomware this time around, which is why they are requesting their largest ransom yet. The previous two ransom were $5 million and $11 million respectively.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily crypto news. Bye.